What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're gonna be doing a badge tier list specific to my team. Now, here's the big deal, okay? My team is different than anything else because I mean we're gonna talk about it with our first badge here in Green Machine. But like, the reason my team is so different is, let's say you had a pro-am point guard or a park point guard, okay, and you're gonna shoot a lot of shots with that card. Green Machine is gonna be way more useful for like a park guard that you're shooting, you know, 8 shots in a park game, compared to my team where you're gonna be spreading the ball around, those types of things. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. We've got 64 badges, and shout out to whoever made this. This saved me a lot of time, the fact that I didn't have to come up, you know, with a tier list myself. Now, before we dive any further, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button if you are new. Green Machine up first, and here's the deal with Green Machine. For all badges in the game, I think it's a C tier badge. Now, that's not me saying for specific players that it's bad, because for the likes of Ricky Davis, Tim Thomas, those types of cards that you're going to be shooting a lot of threes with, then sure, you want an increase, because what Green Machine is, it's an increase given if you green consecutive excellent release. So if you green multiple shots in a row, then you're going to see an increase in the, your green window, those types of things. Now for me, I like to spread the ball around, so Green Machine's not that valuable for me. But again, for Tim Thomas, for the likes of Ricky Davis, you could make the argument Green Machine is pretty valuable. Guard up, I'm going to put ahead of Green Machine. Guard up, honestly, I'm going to throw an A tier. People don't understand how overpowered guard up can be. It's one of those things that makes releases so hard to contest. And I don't just say that to say that. I mean, this is the type of badge that is light leads. Like, you're going to get a lot of light leads if you have the guard up badge. If somebody's not right in your face, you're going to have the chance to green it with the guard up badge. A really good badge. Limitless range, I'm throwing an S tier. Look, I would be the first to say it. If a person has a decent 3-ball, you can shoot it from a little deep. But Tim Thomas and Ricky Davis have really shown me what limitless range can do for you. Now, with that being said, for the majority of people, limitless range might not be that important. And so maybe I'll move it down to A tier. But I'm just saying, it makes people so much harder to guard. When I got to guard Ricky Davis from 30 feet out, same thing with Tim Thomas. And they can just, go to the rim at will as well. So it gets really difficult to play defense because of that limitless range badge. Mini Magician. Like, guys, I'm sorry, but let me ask you guys this. How many people use the mid-range area? I mean, honestly, it boosts the effectiveness of a variety of shots from the mid-range area. Okay, that's cool. But in a game, how many mid-range shots are even taken? Not many. I mean, maybe you can argue it D tier because it's not totally worthless. I think I'm gonna save the worthless badge, or the F tier, for the one literally worthless badge in my team. Slippery off ball. I've said it for year after year after year. Slippery off ball is the most underrated badge in my team. What does it do? Well, it strengthens the ability to get open off the ball. So if you like running a lot of back cuts in your offense, heck, even a pick and roll, and you slip the screen, slippery off ball is so important. I've been saying it for year after year. In my team specifically, it's so important. Now, if you're playing, in Pro-Am, I don't think it's, that important, but I'm telling you guys, in my team, I feel like slippery off ball is super important. Space Creator up next. And I don't know about you guys, but I've never been that high on Space Creator, right? I mean, it increases the ability to hit shots after creating a space from the defender. So like step backs or like, those types of things, I guess. I mean, it could be valuable, but for me, how many times do I even use Space Creator? Not many. It's kind of in that Mini Magician type of thing, which I guess I just don't use those badges enough to really have a valid opinion on them. Volume Shooter up next. Now, we've seen Volume Shooter year after year. It boosts shot percentages as shot attempts accrue throughout the game. Now, again, for Tim Thomas, it's a good badge. For Ricky Davis, it's a good badge. Now, for guys, let's say, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's not going to be taking that many shots. For a guy like Magic Johnson, who probably is not going to be taking that many shots. It's not that important. Do I think volume shooter is a badge you should put on a guy who does attempt a lot of shots in your game? Absolutely. Should you put it on a guy that's basically a role player? Probably not. It's that simple. Ankle breaker up next. There's been years, guys, in which I felt like ankle breaker is super, super, super important in my team. And I'm not saying it's worthless, because it's not. I just don't think it's as important as it has been. So basically what it does is it improves the likelihood of freezing or dropping a defender after your moves. Now, that it still is a good badge, but back in the day when the step back animation was in the game, just with the dribble move, the like between the legs step back, you'd freeze your defender every time, and it used to just be so overpowered. It's not necessarily that overpowered anymore, but I still think ankle breaker is a really, really solid badge. Bailout up next. Here's the problem I have with bailout, right? Bailout, it's a good badge, but I don't even think it's that needed. Like, yes, people with bailout are going to bail out of passes more, and bailout is one of the most annoying things to defend in the entire game. But do you really even need bailout? I mean, I guess, kind of. It's just so annoying. Bailout, it literally ruins the game. Like, I want to put it in F tier, because it literally ruins the game, but it's a good badge. It's probably an A tier caliber badge, especially if you're playing against like competitive people. Now, for a lot of you guys watching this video, you don't even bail out of your passes. So like, unless you actively use bailout, which I've had to start doing. I used to never use it, and to kind of keep up with what everybody else is doing, I had to start using it. It's too overpowered. So if you don't use bailout, you better start. Break starter up next. I'm telling you guys this. Break starter this year is a good badge. It is, because running breaks this year is extremely important. So if you want to put break starter on your power forward centers, definitely something I would recommend. It's just going to make your outlet passes that much easier. Agent 3 is a good badge, but here's what I'll say. Really good on next gen. Current gen, it's basically useless. So basically it improves ability to make pull-up or spin shots from 3-point range. Now again, I don't have it even on my Jimmy Butler because I felt like there were more important badges. Now with that being said, I still green pull-up threes. I still green spin shots. To me, it's not necessarily needed, but it is a decent enough badge in my team. Clamp breaker S tier. Clamp breaker is the definition of clamp. Basically, it combats clamps. Basically, it improves your ability to fight off contact and protect the ball with dribbling. So, let's say somebody gets that clamps animation. Clamp breaker, you can literally just break through it. And it's kind of crazy, but it is an S tier badge. On all of your guys that you're going to be dribbling with, attacking the rim with, trying to create shots with, I would definitely recommend Clamp Breaker. I'm absolutely in love with this badge. I even gave a guy like Jimmy Butler it over Agent 3. So definitely something I'm pretty high on. Dimer, look. I'm going to say it. Dimer's underrated. And I know it's just like a basic badge. And a lot of people say, Dimer's not that important. You're going to make the shot anyway. Now listen. On your guards, or heck, on anybody, it's important. So like on Tim Thomas, Ricky Davis, Dimer's a badge I would recommend giving them. Because they're going to be handling the ball a lot. They're going to be the ones passing to wide open Kareem when people need to swing. They're going to be passing to a wide open Magic Johnson when people need to swing. And this could be the difference between you greening shots and not greening shots. Do I think Dimer's necessarily the most important badge? No. Do I think it's extremely helpful? Absolutely. Definitely at least B tier. Floor general, look, it depends how you look at floor general. Right now in my team, I guess it's pretty important because not everybody has it. But when we start seeing players later on in the year in which nearly every player is getting at least gold floor general, then it's just not going to become important because you need it for basically 2 guys on the court. So like I have, I think, a Magic Johnson that at least has gold, maybe even Hall of Fame floor general. I don't know what he comes with. And then I put it on my Ricky Davis so that all of Magic Johnson's offensive stats go up 3. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure at least 3 guys or 2 guys on your court have it. Again, I don't think it's necessarily, I do think it's important to have, but later on in the year, again, just make sure 2 guys have it. So why it's at D tier is because not every player on the court need it. It's only 2 players, so just make sure 2 of your guys have floor general. Handles for days, it's an extremely important badge. And this year, a lot of people are like, Tim gets tired so quickly and he's got Hall of Fame handles for days. How does that work? Look, guys. I'm gonna say it like this. I guess Tim doesn't have Hall of Fame handles for days. Somebody said that their Tim had Hall of Fame handles for days and that he still got tired extremely quickly. Now, what I would say to kind of go along with that is try dribbling with somebody with no handles for days, okay? And just see how that works. Just see. Because handles for days is extremely important. And, I mean, look, if you get a choice pack, handles for days is one of the, I'm not going to say it'd be my first option, but it's one of those things that, yes, I would definitely recommend putting handles for days on your primary ball handler. I just would. Especially down the road, it's going to be extremely, extremely, extremely important. Hyperdrive up next. I remember there used to be a debate in the MyTEAM community whether hyperdrive actually made a difference or not. For me, I think hyperdrive always has. I just feel like it's less important now. It increases dribbling skills while on the move. So it's rare to see somebody that does like a behind the back. I do it with Magic Johnson, like a behind the back or a crossover between. A lot of people don't even do that in the full court, and that's really where you're going to have success with hyperdrive. I don't think it's that great of a badge. I'm going to put it at D tier this year. Killer combos, again, guys, remember, these are MyTEAM specific. So if you have a part guard, sure, killer combos might be a great badge. It improves the ability to chain together dribble moves when sizing up their opponent. How many of you guys watching this MyTEAM specific video are sizing up your opponent with dribble moves that are chaining together? I hardly even do that. So it's like, I'm putting it at D tier. I just don't think it's that important. Mismatch expert up next. I don't think mismatch expert right now is that important. Now, down the road, it might be when people run this switch-all scheme, or even with Magic Johnson, I guess if somebody's putting like, how I'd phrase it, if you're running like a John Wall and somebody's putting Magic Johnson or LeBron James on him, then sure. I mean, maybe mismatch expert is important, but overall, I don't think it's that important. I don't. It does improve the player's ability to beat taller defenders off the dribble in one-on-one situations. So it's different than it has been in past, right? In the past, it's been like shooting-wise. This is just improving their ability off the dribble. So, I guess what I would say is if you do have a John Wall type of card or a, heck, even a Ricky Davis, and somebody puts like a 6'11" Anthony Davis on him, then it's gonna be, then it's gonna be valuable. But as long as somebody like is close, I think it's a 3-inch difference. I don't think mismatch expert is gonna make or break you. Needle threader, I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's gonna do what it's always done, right? It's gonna improve your ability to basically make passes in traffic and basically thread the needle with passes. Now, I don't think it's that that important, but it's useful. To me, it's kind of like Dimer. It's not necessarily like a need if you make smart passes, but it is definitely useful. Post playmaker, again, here's how I'd phrase post playmaker. You have to be in the post to really get the boost. So, in a post-up opportunity, sure, I guess, it can be helpful, but I don't really value post playmaker that much. Quick first step is S tier. I'm going to say it like this. Until quick first step is not in MyTEAM, it's going to be an S tier badge. It's just that simple. Now, again, you guys might not think it's that big of a deal, but trust me when I say you'll notice what quick first step does for you and your players. Amp's a good badge. And a lot of people really aren't in love with the Amp. They don't love Amp. But for me, I really do like Amp. So what Amp does is when a player is a little tired, it improves their ability to knock down shots. Nothing makes me more mad is when I see somebody dribble at 10 seconds or 14 seconds off the clock in the half court and still make a tough shot. That's what Amp does. Again, though, I feel like for a lot of the people in the MyTEAM community, Amp's not necessarily that useful because how many people are really dribbling the air out of the ball at this point? Not many. Special delivery F tier. I'm telling you, there are a couple of badges in MyTEAM that are F tier, and special delivery is one of them. Look, I get it. Special delivery, all it does is it increases alley-oop throw success and a shot chance for receivers after a flash pass. First of all, nobody outside of maybe RCA the Great is going to throw a flash pass in this game. Second off, alley-oops. How many people are throwing alley-oops? Not many. Like, is it worth upgrading for your cards if you're trying for 250K? Sure, but special delivery is pretty dog water. Unpluckable, S tier. Nothing makes me more mad when I get plucked. I promise you, nothing makes me more mad. So yes, Unpluckable was one of the badges I added to Jimmy Butler. So he doesn't get plucked every time he dribbles the ball. Nothing makes me more aggravated than that when I'm handling the ball and I get plucked, man. Can y'all hang on to the ball for me, please? This is super important. Vice grip. I don't know how I feel about vice grip still to this day. And a lot of people have different opinions on it. But for me, I have no idea how I feel on it. What is it? It increases a player's ability to secure the ball against steal possession or steal attempts after obtaining possession. So I guess like when you catch the ball in traffic, it can help you out. To me, again, I don't know how important it is. I do put it on a lot of my cards, but I think it's B tier. You guys might have to let me know. Let others know in the comments, because again, I haven't really seen what Vice Grip can do. I put it on cards. I think it is useful. Acrobat. I mean, listen. I'm gonna phrase it like this. Acrobat this year has some cheese to it, so I don't think it's F tier, but I think it's D tier. I really do, and I'm gonna move killer combos and hyperdrive up because they are more important than the rest of these. My thing for Acrobat is it's like, how many people are really using it? I mean, if you know how to use it, it can be cheesy, but it's not even something I use, so that's kind of where I'm at on it. Aerial Wizard. Now, the reason Aerial Wizard is staying out of F tier is because every time I get a putback dunk, Aerial Wizard pops up. It says it increases the ability to finish lives and putbacks at the rim. That's not a great badge, but I will say, people be getting putback dunks and then Aerial Wizard pops up. So I don't think it's a worthless badge, just not great. Back down Punisher look. It is important because if somebody doesn't have their brick wall, they will get absolutely dogged on the interior if you have back down Punisher. It's just a post badge. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Bully. I'm gonna go S tier with Bully. Bully's a big badge, man. And you might not see it, but when people be attacking the rim, they literally be shoving people out of the way with Bully. It's just it's crazy. Like, I don't think Bully is as good as some people made it out to be, maybe to start the game, but people really just be moving others out of the way with it. I do think it's an S tier badge. Up next, guys, we do see Dream Shake. For me, it's F tier. I've tried to use it. Like, I've tried to use Dream Shake, and there's times a defender will be stunned and you'll make a post fade, but who is using Dream Shake, man? It is almost 2023. I guarantee if my grandpa played the game, he'd use Dream Shake, but come on, man, it's Dream Shake. Drop Stepper up next. I'm gonna throw Drop Stepper in C tier. Look, I always fear drop stepping because you be getting stripped a ton. Now, with that being said, it can still be cheesy because you can drop step somebody and then they just get like the fall down animation in which you can't even get a strip. It's a cheesy badge, but I don't love it because you still get stripped with it quite a bit. Fast Twitch is a good badge. Like, what Fast Twitch is, it basically allows you, when you're in the paint, to go up quicker, right? And it's basically what it allows you to do. So if you have guys like a masher type of player, so like a Kareem, pretty useful is Fast Twitch. It's that simple. Blinders up next. I'm going to put Blinders in A tier as well. It's not necessarily, look, all these badges, it depends on who you are and how you play. Blinders, if you like to 3-hunt, it's important, okay? If you're a 300 type of guy, if that's how you play the game, yes, Blinders is important. If you like running to the rim, then maybe a badge like, I'm trying to throw one out. Maybe a badge like, if you like running to the rim, I haven't even gotten to the slashing badges, so that's kind of where I'm at, but maybe a badge, like Posterizer compared to Blinders. That's kind of what you're looking at is maybe Posterizer is better for somebody that attacks the rim, and maybe Blinders is better for somebody that is a 300 type of player. Fearless Finisher, it's a decent badge. It's not great, though. So what Fearless Finisher does, it basically, when you're in traffic, it just it helps you out. So, like, around the rim, in traffic, that's where Fearless Finisher can really be useful. Improves ability to convert contact layups. So you'll see somebody like get contact and then it'll say open, or even like a 30%. Fearless Finisher is what's really going to be useful for that. Giant Slayer is not a great badge. It only helps if you're going up against a guy like Kareem or somebody like that in the paint, which, I mean, I guess if you have like John Wall or Ricky Davis on him, but I just don't think Giant Slayer is really a badge to be looking for. Limitless Takeoff, I would say it's important, but with standing dunks this year, I just don't see it. And a lot of people can argue it. I'm going to throw it in C tier because I guess for guards it could be useful. But again, I always will prefer standing dunks as long as standing dunks are in the game. So I'm going to throw Limitless Takeoff in C tier. Masher is a pretty good badge. For me, though, specifically, I only like Masher I'd only put it on it for like guys like Bron, guys like 80, guys like Kareem. Like a guy like, let's say, Ricky Davis. Masher will help, but it's not that important. So it improves a player's ability to finish well around the rim, especially over smaller defenders. So that's where it's like you want a big guy or a guy that you're going to be in the lane with a lot. First of all, they're more likely to have smaller defenders. And then secondly, I mean, look, again, it's, you know, they're going to be around the rim more. So I do like Masher as an overall badge. I think it is pretty important. Post-spin technician, I'm going to put in C tier. With a lot of people liking to switch screens or even, you know, the swim through move is so annoying. If somebody doesn't have post lockdown, it's basically an instant run to the rim. It can be a cheesy badge. I'm going to throw it in C tier though. Posterizer is an important badge. I'm telling you guys this right now. Posterizer combined with driving dunk is so important. One thing I've noticed, if somebody doesn't have posterizer, they're going to miss so many dunks because of Intimidator. Now, look, it's just the one thing. It's like, okay, look. I get tired of a guy like Alex Caruso missing dunks. I get tired of it. But when I go to the rim with Ricky Davis, he'll never miss a dunk. And that's what posterizer and driving dunk does. Posterizer is an extremely important badge. That compared to blinders is a pretty good, you know, I would say comparison between rim running and 3-hunting. Pro touch literally is useless. Nobody should be timing layups right now in my team. And if you are, then pro touch could be useful. Otherwise, it's literally useless. Rise up is decently important. What rise up is when you are under the basket in the paint, it helps you rise up and dunk the ball. To me, is it the most important badge? No, but it is useful. Makes it easier to dunk the ball from under the basket. It is a useful badge. Slithery finisher, I mean, I'm going to throw it in C tier. Basically prevents the contact when attacking the rim, like allows you to like slide by them, those types of things. Again, if you are running to the rim a lot, could be useful, but not necessarily my most important badge in my team. We're going to get to some really important ones here. Anchor, maybe the best and most important badge in the entire game. I'm pretty sure Anchor is what is kind of like, here's what it is. It boosts the ability, player's ability to defend and protect the paint. So it's kind of like a mixture of, I would say, rim protector and intimidator. Kind of a mix of those couple of things. I love it, man. I absolutely love Anchor. Like, Anchor is literally the rim protector of this year. Just is so needed and so valuable. Catch and shoot, I'm gonna throw at I'm gonna throw it at A tier. No, I'm throwing it at S tier. People can green consistently with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Why? Because a lot of people's Kareem got Hall of Fame catch and shoot. And on a lower type of 3-ball, it is important. So let's say you got Kareem. Heck, even a guy like KG, Bron, those types of cards. Hall of Fame catch and shoot, or even the catch and shoot badge is so valuable. I've said it for year upon years. It's one of the most important things in the world on the catch. You want to make sure you have catch and shoot. It allows you to green shots you probably shouldn't green in general. Ankle braces up next. I'm going to throw ankle braces in A tier. To play perimeter defense, man, it is really important. Now, on a guy like Kareem, if you don't switch screens, you don't need ankle braces because how many times is he going to be guarding the perimeter on somebody that does dribble moves? Still think ankle braces is pretty important on basically everybody on the court. Box out beast. Look, it's a pretty important badge. It's that simple. It basically helps you box out your opponent or swim around your opponent if you're trying to get the offensive rebound. Pretty important, pretty gritty when it gets down to on the interior in the paint. Brick wall up next. It's a super important badge. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love brick wall so much. Whether it's on Jimmy Butler, whether it's on, Kareem. Brick wall is so important. That way, if Jimmy gets switched onto a big, he can hold his own on the interior. That's all I want. And if somebody, post spin me, cool. I'll foul him and make him work for it. Challenger up next. Another S tier badge. Supposedly, rumor has it, Challenger helps you so you can jump at people without getting fouls. It's something I kind of want to test out and see, but if that's the case, man, it is so valuable and so important. Like, it's just that simple. Like, if you can jump at players without getting fouls or lessens fouls, it really does help you. It says it improves the effectiveness of well-timed contests against perimeter shooters. So, I mean, that's important, right? If you contest well against perimeter shooters, maybe can help you without fouling. That is really, really valuable. Chase down artists is important. It'll always be important. I'm going to throw it at A tier. Chase down blocks change the game. They do. They change the trajectory of the game. I wouldn't rely on chase down blocks this year because they're not nearly as common as they were last year. Literally last year, it was every single dunk you went up with was a chase down block. This year, it's not quite as important, not quite as valuable, but, still pretty useful. Clamps. I'm going to throw it at B tier. People are going to say clamps isn't useful. It still is useful. It's just not necessarily as important as it's been in past years. You can't tell me it's not useful, though. I mean, clamps is still a very, very useful badge. Glove is very useful. I'm going to throw glove at S tier. Talk about things that can change the game. Glove is one of them. Getting plucks from behind is common this year. When you talk about, getting, straight up steals with the on-ball steal tendency in glove. I'm telling you guys this right now. Glove, chasing artist, those are types of things that can swing the game. Interceptor will always be an S tier badge for me. This year, I can't tell you how mad I get when I am supposed to get a steal and I don't get a steal. Maybe Hall of Fame Interceptor will fix that. I'm hoping so, but until further notice, Interceptor is an S tier badge in my team. Menace, I'm going to throw Menace in A tier. Look, I mean, you got to get a bug to get Menace, but it helps out, man. I don't care what people say. It lowers the offensive player's ability. It's just important. Off-ball pest, it's A tier. Off-ball pest offsets slippery off-ball. So, my whole thing is this. If slippery off-ball is an A tier, off-ball pest's got to be an A tier as well. People are wondering, Ty, what are some important badges to look for maybe on Hall of Fame for Magic Johnson? The first one on my list is off-ball pest. Get him some of those defensive animations. Make it tough for the offensive player to, do what he wants to do. Off-ball pest is extremely important. And it's going to be unpopular, but I don't really care. Claymore is another important badge. Now, to me, off-ball pest is more important than Claymore. Why? I feel like it's more usable. You're going to use off-ball pest more than you are going to knock down shots while spotting up patiently. Now, I will say, maybe it's A tier, but for me, how many times are you just going to be left wide open with a guy that's been spotting up forever? I don't know. Maybe, I guess, in Unlimited, it's A tier. You got to know when to use this, though. Use Claymore on cards like whoever your power forward might be, like an Anthony Davis. Use Claymore on cards like a Jimmy Butler. Don't use Claymore on a guy like Tim Thomas, who is going to be your primary ball handler. John Wall, probably the same thing. That's kind of what I would recommend. Pick Dodger, A tier. It's just important. People are starting to run more screens than they used to. Used to be just like a 5-out type of setting. Now people are starting to run screens. You need Pick Dodger. Pogo Stick, I'm going to throw it A tier as well. Pogo, I mean, look. I guess I don't be jumping that much in the paint, but you need Pogo Stick to at least try to counteract the mashing in my team. Post lockdown, I'm going to throw it B tier. It is important to have on your bigs. Now, again, if you do get a mismatch, one thing I'd recommend is just fouling your opposition, right? Don't even let them post spin you, drop step you, any of those things. Just foul, make them reset their offense. Rebound chaser, one of the most important badges and will be forever. Go get the rebound, man. Again, I'd only recommend it for your small forward, power forward, center positions, because how many rebounds is John Wall going to get anyways? Just something to kind of think about. But rebound chaser definitely is important. Now, workhorse is an interesting badge, and it's a badge that a lot of people have kind of talked about in the MyTEAM community, at least recently. So basically, it increases the opponent, or it increases the player's speed and ability to get loose balls over the opponent. Now, again, it's one of those things. If you get a pluck, maybe workhorse will work. I still just think the offense gets the ball anyway, so I don't know. I'm going to put it at B tier, but I don't really know. Clutch shooter. I think clutch shooter is valuable this year, more important than anything from the free throw line. Even in the third quarter, clutch shooter will be popping up when I'm at the free throw line. And trust me, this year with how hard free throws are, it is extremely important. Comeback kid, for me, and I'm not trying to be arrogant when I say this. Comeback kid, it really matters how good you are. For example, right now in my team, and I don't say this to be arrogant, right now in my team, I'm 47-0, okay? How many times have I been losing in games? Maybe 2% of the time. So comeback kid's not going to be usable. If you have a 90% win record in my team Unlimited, it's going to be D or F. Now, if I play Splash, if I play Nike, if I play Ice, if I play any of the top guys, then maybe it's a B or A tier badge. I'm going to throw it at D tier. I'm going to throw it at C tier. If you stink at the game, sure, it's valuable. If you're good at the game, not nearly as valuable. Corner specialist, I'm going to throw it at B tier. Again, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those are the guys. I don't even know if Kareem can get it. Hakeem Olajuwon. Those are the guys you need to look for that corner specialist badge. For guys like Tim Thomas, guys like Ricky Davis, probably not going to be as valuable. Last but certainly not least, we do see Deadeye, in which I'm throwing Deadeye in A tier. I've always thought Deadeye is an important badge, and that's just my opinion on things. I think some badges always will reign supreme. Reduce the impact of a defender who is closing out. That's so important in my team this year. Deadeye is so important. Deadeye, guard up, those two kind of work together, get you the ability to knock down open shots. So that is our tier list today, guys. Hopefully each and every you guys did enjoy it. Again, this is my team specific from what I personally have experienced. Let me know which badges I was too high on, what I was too low on. Let some other people in the comments know as well, because again, my team's only been out for what, a couple months now, so it is still pretty new for all of us, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.